The API is finally back up so we can look at all the dungeon god rolls. So let's just get into it. All right, so I'm actually just going to start off with the 7 Seraph weapons since they have the least desire. They honestly don't even seem to be that good in the first place. I'm not even going to go super in depth. We just have Rangefinder, Ambitious Assassin, 4 times the Charm, Reconstruction, Air Assault, Well-Rounded, Vorpal, Harmony, High Impact Reserves, Gut Shot trait, Perfect Float, and Redirection. They do have the new Origin trait, which gives them ammo when you break shields, which I guess is nice. But if you're looking for a PvP role, maybe Rangefinder Harmony could be fun with a Rain of Fire build. This may be a 3-tap or some sort. 4 times the Charm. They actually ended up taking away Explosive Payload, or the one where it, is delayed a little bit. So it's just not as good anymore. 4 times the Charm is kind of okay. I don't know. This thing's just not that good. 4 times Charm, Vorpal made for champions. Anyway, don't go for this. Don't fall for it. If you do have a role you like, be sure to drop it in the comments because I would love to know. Reconstruction is on there, so that could be pretty fun. But anyway, yeah, that's this. Gut Shot Straight maybe could be fun. All right, 7 Seraph Carbine. Again, you have some new roles: Threat Detector, 4 times the Charm, Hipfire Grip, Pugilist, Reconstruction, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Swashbuckler, Elemental Capacitor, Rangefinder, Moving Target, Frenzy, and Target Lock. So for PvE, it has things like, Reconstruction, which is pretty good. 4 times the Charm could be, okay. Swashbuckler for damage increase. Frenzy is pretty good. Frenzy, Reconstruction could be a good role, but you're never really going to use 450s in PvE in the first place. It also has the ability to get Target Lock, which is honestly a very good damage perk now as well. So that's kind of what you're going for PvE. Now for PvP, this actually does have some pretty good roles. Hipfire Grips are really good. Reconstruction is honestly not terrible. Dynamic Sway is good. Rangefinder, Moving Target. Elemental Capacitor is also not even that bad. 450s aren't in like the meta or anything, but they are in an okay spot. You can make them work. Maybe have something like Elemental Capacitor and Dynamic Sway Reduction. It could be pretty fun with a void element. You get up to like 50 non-stability. You can build in stability even more. It'll just be a very, very precise weapon. Even if you want to pop that handling on there, you have a very snappy PvP weapon. And again, you can never go wrong with Rangefinder or Moving Target. But all right, now let's get into the heavy hitters, the ones that everybody's going to be farming for, and that is the Long Arm Scout Rifle. This Scout Rifle is very good. It is going to be a 120. It's basically a legendary Dead Man's Tale. It's very, very strong. And these are the roles you can get on it. You have Rapid Hit, Wellspring, Under Pressure, Compulsive Reloader, Hipfire Grip, and Subsistence, alongside Adrenaline Junkie, Dragonfly, Opening Shot, Redirection, High Impact Reserves, and Explosive Payload. So for both PvE and PvP, you have some pretty good roles. And if you don't know what the Origin trait does, it states that damaging targets while firing from the hip increases handling, reload speed, and movement speed while aiming down sight. So honestly, a relatively good Origin trait. You hit a hip fire shot, you get a bunch of bonuses. That's good for both PvE and PvP. And starting off with PvE, Rapid Hit is going to be a very good option. You're going to be able to reload this thing very fast, stay accurate with that stability increase. Wellspring's not a bad option if you're trying to get some ability energy back. Compulsive Reloader, they actually did buff this, so now half the magazine will actually give you that increased reload speed, which is pretty nice. Subsistence is a very fun option. That's probably the one I would recommend taking. But you also have Adrenaline Junkie for damage increase, Dragonfly, which got buffed, and it's basically Dragonfly spec now. So Dragonfly is also a relatively good option too. Since it is a high impact, you'll be one-shot enemies a lot anyway. I know some people are fans of Redirection. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but that does have a little community, and Explosive Payload is also a very good option. So for roles, I would go for PvE, definitely Rapid Hit, Explosive Payload for in-game level content. You can just stay on target. That Explosive Payload is going to give you that extra damage, which is really, really nice. For lower tier content, if you want to use this just for fun, Subsistence Dragonfly is a great option. You're just going to be able to shoot one enemy. The gun's always going to be reloaded. You're going to be able to just blow everything up with the new Dragonfly spec, which is basically Dragonfly. And I actually used a Subsistence Dead Man's Tale for a while when it initially launched in PvE because I just thought it was really fun. So I'm excited to get this role because now it's basically going to be that, but with explosions. But again, if you want a more in-game content, Rapid Hit, Explosive Payload is going to be really good. But again, also at the same time, if you're going to use one of these, you may as well use a faster fire rate because they typically result in more DPS. Also in these other columns, just go with whatever makes the gun feel better for you. Now for PvP, you also have things like Rapid Hit, which is really good. Wellsprings, really good. Under Pressure, that's kind of eh. Compulsive Reloader can work. Hipfire Grip is a very strong option. It's probably what most people are going to go for. Even Subsistence isn't terrible. Literally all the perks you can make work. A damage increase with Adrenaline Junkie. Dragonfly could be fun. Opening Shot's really good. And Explosive Payload is definitely going to be your last go-to option. Again, same as PvE, Rapid Hit. It makes it really easy to keep hitting those shots. You can get that reload speed, which is nice. Hipfire Grip is probably going to be the go-to though, because this is basically going to try to make this into a Dead Man's Tale that is legendary. because right now, obviously the hip fire accuracy on it, since it is just a legendary scout, isn't the greatest. You pop this on here, and actually pairing that with the origin trait, they go hand in hand together so well. I would highly recommend doing hip fire grip. Now in the other column, people are probably going to go with things like opening shot, just to get that first initial shot to make sure you can hit from the hip. But you could also go with things like adrenaline junkie to get a damage increase, and you basically just have a dead man's tail that can get increased damage. I personally like explosive payload in this column because this will flinch enemies a lot more. Being able to hip fire explosive payload shots, not even really having to worry about it too much, you're just going to be flinching people like crazy. And I think that could be very, very fun. I actually do have this role on my account right now, and I'm excited to try it out. But that is for the long arm. Let's move on to the sidearm, which is honestly making a lot of hype as well. A lot of people are enjoying this. This is going to be a 2-round burst stasis sidearm. And starting off with the perks, we have tunnel vision, headstone, threat detector, tap the trigger, pugilist, perpetual motion, quick draw, kill clip, swashbuckler, desperado, rangefinder, and surrounded. So for PvE, you can already see some heavy hitters. You have things like headstone, pugilist, perpetual motion. All those are really good. Kill clip's honestly pretty good now, since you can reproc it all the time. Swashbuckler is very good for a damage increase. Desperado is also not even that bad. That is essentially a damage increase. And surrounded, since it is basically surrounded spec now, also a good option as well. Now for PvE specifically, I would definitely go with headstone and desperado. Play into getting those headshots. You make a crystal, you reload, you're going to get more fire rate. You can break those crystals extremely fast, and you can just shatter everything. Now, even if you want to take something like headstone kill clip, that could be good too. You reload the gun, you get some damage. Or even if you want to not worry about the reloads, you could take swashbuckler, so you can get, you know, a headstone, which is a ad-clip perk alongside a damage perk, and you'll just be able to mow a lot of things down with this. Honestly, I think this role might be the best go-to for just, you know, not having to worry about anything. You just get a headshot and you're good to go. Also, if headstone can actually proc swashbuckler, that means you can also, you know, use headstone to get Tom's Fob very fast. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go, but headstone is a little funky when it comes to actually proccing other perks, so that could potentially work. Now you can also take pugilist, swashbuckler, very good for, you know, melee based builds, and then perpetual motion, just get some added bonuses, is always going to be very good as well. I personally don't like surrounded a lot, but some people enjoy it, and they did technically buff it now, so that is an option you could take too. Now for PvP, tunnel vision is a great option. Threat detector is not even terrible. You're using the sidearm up close anyway, so you're going to see the stats. Tap the trigger, really good. Perpetual motion, also really, really good. Pugilist, you know, is okay if you want to get some melee energy back, but the other perks is definitely going to be very good for consistency. Quick draw, I guess, is not terrible if you need to swap to it really fast, get a kill if you're on like a double primary setup. Kill clip, really good. Swashbuckler, you can probably make work. Kill clip's probably going to be better. Desperado, very good. Rangefinder, very good. And then surrounded, I probably wouldn't recommend that. So for pure consistency, running something like tap the trigger rangefinder is going to be a great go-to option. Even if you want to pop on perpetual motion, that is also really good. I would prefer tap the trigger with this, since it is a burst fire anyway. You're pretty much always going to get this benefit. Now, if you're going for a 6s options or a slay option, you know, tunnel vision kill clip, great combination. Tunnel vision desperado, great. Perpetual motion desperado, anything like that is very good, because you get a kill, you're going to get a lot of bonuses to make that next kill very, very easy. So definitely be on the lookout for kill clip or desperado, tunnel vision, perpetual motion, even threat detector, like I said. But if you want to go for pure consistency, tap the trigger rangefinder. You can even try to buff the range up on here a lot. You know, you're sitting at 78 range, you can get a range master work on here. You're at 83 range with these pure consistency perks. Tap the trigger is going to help buff up that stability anyway, and you are good to go with this thing. This could be a lot of fun for PvP. Now we have the Wilder Flight grenade launcher, or Wilder Fright. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. You can correct me in the comments. But starting off with the perks, we have auto holster, repulsor brace, feed and frenzy, danger zone, unrelenting, and demolitionist, alongside adrenaline junkie, lead from gold, frenzy, vorpal weapon, pugilist, and disruption break. So this is actually a unique grenade launcher. It is going to shoot out 2 rounds. I think it essentially does around 30% more damage compared to a normal grenade launcher. So it's actually relatively good if you want to use it for damage, but a lot of people are going to use this for pure utility. Things like blinding grenades, all only holster is going to be very, very strong. Throw a disruption break on there so your kinetic weapons do more damage. This is a very, very good option if you need a blinding grenade launcher. Even taking something like lead from gold could be very good too, because you're just always going to have ammo for your blinding grenade launcher. very, very good utility weapon. But if you don't want to go utility, you can take things like spike grenades, you know, feed and frenzy, you know, things like frenzy to also give you some extra damage. Vorpal's good for doing some extra damage to bosses. Even throwing an auto loading on with the Vorpal could also be really good for just getting some extra damage off. Since weaken clear is actually available now, you could just, you know, shoot this, weaken the enemy, do some extra damage. That could be really, really good. Repulsive brace is also a great option with weaken clear, because this means you're going to be able to constantly get that weaken off, which will give you that overshield. You also have fun rolls like demo and pugilist to make sure you get a bunch of building energy back. Demo adrenaline junkie could be very fun too. So there's honestly a lot of really good PvE rolls, but again, most people are going to just use it for pure utility. So I would definitely recommend blinding, auto loading, and disruption break. I think that is probably going to be its best role if you want to take out disruption break for left from gold. That could be good, but I really feel like you don't ever really need the ammo too much. So, you know, disruption break could be very nice. Even throw frenzy might be good because you get that handling increase, so you can just swap to it really fast. Now for PvP, you have things like auto loading, which is very strong. Unrelenting, I guess, is okay if you can get multi kills really fast. Demo to get some grenade energy back. It's definitely not the strongest for PvP, but then in the other column, again, you have disruption break. That's probably going to be your best go-to option if you take the shield off. So auto loading, disruption break again for PvP. Let's go. This is definitely the best grenade launcher for PvP you can probably get with a roll like this. This might be secretly OP in PvP with double fire, but I think this is probably as good as you're going to get. Now, the least exciting one, the machine gun, Terminus Horizon. So let's just get into the perks. Dragonfly, compulsive reloader, hipfire grip, triple tap, rapid hit, demolitionist, volt shot, cascade point, adrenaline junkie, high impact reserves, wall spring, and target lock. So this honestly has some decent perks. It is a 360 round per minute, which is unfortunate. They're probably the least liked LMGs. I mean, they're definitely competing with 900s for being the least liked, but Dragonfly is a pretty fun option. Dragonfly volt shot for PvE. The problem is, you got to reload to get Volt Shot. Maybe if you're on a hunter, you can, you know, dodge and get it to proc really easily, and you just have two really strong ad clear perks, which could be fun. Compulsive Reloader Volt Shot could also be really good since it does work with half the magazine now. You're at 46 rounds, so you're easily going to be able to proc a Volt Shot on that and be able to ad clear like crazy. If you want to go a damage route, triple tap target lock is a way to go. I wouldn't typically use these for damage. Rapid hit's also not terrible, so you can get a bunch of reload speed. You know, rapid hit, volt shot could also be really strong. Dragonfly, adrenaline junkie for damage increase and an ad clear perk. Again, that could be really good as well. Demo wellspring just to make sure you get your grenade back as fast as possible. There's a lot of pretty interesting rolls, honestly. Even things like cascade point could be fun, so you can swap to it and you get a bunch of fire rate. So if this is your cup of tea, if you don't have another good LMG or machine gun, you know, farm one of these out because it does, you know, have a lot of good rolls. You pretty much get one to drop, you're going to have something pretty good. But for PvP, you know, you have things like hipfire grip, which honestly could be a very fun option on an LMG or a machine gun. You know, rapid hit also is okay for getting that stability. The reload speed's not going to matter because you won't get, you know, the benefits of that since you don't have extra ammo. Cascade point, I guess, could work in PvP. That could be pretty good. High impact reserves is going to be good because you're going to be lower in the magazine anyway, so you get that damage bonus. And target lock, I think, is okay for PvP. I haven't heard a whole bunch about it, but I've seen some okay things. That could be a good option as well. But I think for PvP, for the most part, I would probably definitely run hipfire grip just for the fun factor, pairing that with its origin trait. And probably high impact reserves just for pure consistency. It's going to get more damage. You get a bunch of benefits from both the origin trait and hipfire grip. I think that could be very fun. But that is all of the dungeon rolls. Let me know what you all are excited for the most. I think for me personally, definitely the scout rifle. The sidearm, I really wish it had headstone and demolitionist on it. We have not had a single stasis weapon in the game have headstone demo. I didn't wait for that for a, you know, stasis turret build alongside, you know, the shatter at stasis crystal. I just think that could be very fun. But alas, we still don't have that, even when we've got a bunch of stasis weapons this season. I'm a little saddened by it, but hopefully we will eventually see it at some point. But anyway, I think that's going to do it all for me. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you learned anything new, consider subscribing, drop a like, turn notifications on. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord or follow me on any of my socials, all that will be linked in the description. But just know watching this video is way more than enough, and that every single bit of support from you all is truly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.